Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Just Chelsea Things. I'm Chelsea, and today I'm doing this very impromptu video that is very reactionary because I just watched A Big Bold Beautiful Journey. It's on Netflix and it stars Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. Now this is a movie I was interested in seeing when I saw the trailer. Me and my mom, sister, and my son would come a lot of the times too. We were on a movie binge this past summer. We would go to the movies a lot, particularly on Tuesdays because it's on half price Tuesdays for tickets at Cinemark. So I saw the trailer a lot because we saw a movie almost every week that summer. And it really drew my interest. Oh my god, what am I doing? Crochet 9 increase. It really drew my interest because it looked like a whimsical, emotional love story. And I love those. That's my MO. That's me. I love Margot Robbie. Colin Farrell, I mean, I'm not a fan, but I'm not a fan, if that makes sense. He's just there. 5, 6, 7. Back to it. I had to really concentrate because I had to count stitches. But now I can get into a flow state. Where was I? So I was excited to see this. Not like super excited, but like I was interested. One more thing I wanted to add. When I first saw the trailer, I thought this was actually a film adaptation of a book because that's just how it was looking in the trailer. And then when I went online to see if it was from a book, the internet told me no, it's not. And as I'm watching it, it just really does still feel like a failed film adaptation of a book that does not exist. So it just kind of makes it even more cringe. I just had to add that in there because that was one of my other initial thoughts, is that this is derived from a book and they did a poor job. But no, they just did a poor job. All right, back to the regular stuff. But then I got busy and time got away from us and we just missed seeing this at the theaters. And thank God. So I turned it on today. Stopping here to say there are spoilers ahead where I give specific plot details. So if that's something you don't want to hear, exit out of the video now. And within the first 10 minutes, I'm like, ooh, this doesn't feel like the story that I thought it was going to be, but I'm going to continue and give it a chance. And the reason being is because the writing is not good. It's not good. It's just so very obvious. There's no leaving anything to the imagination. It's very awkward and clunky. And the characters, because of the way they're written, they do not have chemistry. I'm not invested in this character. It's failed character development in my opinion, because this movie is all about them getting a rental car from this. First of all, they meet at a wedding, but they both got separate rental cars at this place. And they didn't know the rental car was kind of like a magical one, I guess, because the GPS just leads them to different doors in the middle of nowhere. And the doors lead them to scenes from their past, basically reliving childhood traumas. Cool, like I like that concept. The only problem is it was not executed very well. And like I said, it just made me, like, I left the movie thinking, what did I learn? I'm not attached to any of these characters, and maybe I'm not supposed to be, but I don't know. I just didn't connect with them. So within the first 10 minutes, Colin Farrell's character, David, is on the phone with his parents, and he tells them he's going to this wedding. I don't know if it's a friend or what, but he tells them that, and they're like, we don't want you to be alone. And he's like, I love traveling alone. I love being alone. And it just was said in a way where it's like he really is just kind of trying to convince himself that he likes to be alone. I don't know. So he goes to this wedding. First of all, he goes to the rental car place, and he's trying to get in the door. It's in this warehouse, which is weird. It's so sketch. And he's trying to get in the door, and through the security camera, the guy's like, doors are tricky, David. Okay, is this foreshadowing? What are we doing here? So he goes to this wedding. He meets Margot Robbie, which I guess they're both friends of the bride, and they introduce each other. And there's a scene I love to hate where Margot Robbie's character, I think her name is Sarah. I forgot what they were talking about, but she just randomly goes, do you want to marry me? And I'm like, why would you say, he just met you, ma'am. Why would he want to marry you? And Then they go into how when David was a kid, his teacher told him to draw his dream life, and he drew himself in a tuxedo with a family. And so he's like, he's always wanted to be a husband and father. I'm like, okay, that's great. It was just the way it was thrown in there was not very smooth whatsoever. It was very weird. And then Sarah goes into her spiel about how she's not a good person and she will hurt him, and let's just not do this, okay? Because I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna hurt you. I hurt men. That's the one scene I love to hate. Then we fast forward. They meet up at a Burger King just by happenstance, and Sarah's car breaks down. The car with the magical GPS tells David, pick Sarah up. And so they get in the car together and they go on a joint big, bold, beautiful journey. And they go to this museum that Sarah would visit with her mom. Her mom died. And she, in this scene, tells David, my mom died when I was 19. And you know what David says? He says, well, my mom's not dead. She's alive. When I tell you that's how the line went, it was just like that. My mom's alive. And guess what? My dad, also alive. It was like this weird banter where, like, if they had known each other a long time, I can understand. Like, if that's how y'all talk to each other, cool. But considering they just met, it was weird. It threw me off. I'm like, she just told you something very vulnerable and you want to say, oh, my parents are not dead? Ew. So they go to another door where this is a scene that's in the trailer. They go back to David's high school. He's 15, but in reality, he's still him, but the people in the past see him still as 15, if that makes sense. So it's the day of his school play, and he remembers this day because he told this girl he loved her, and she was like, I don't love you, David. I want to go with this other boy. He's a freshman. And David's like, no, he's going to cheat on you, and you shouldn't do it. And she's like, well, I'm going to do it anyway because this is how I feel right now. So they go and they relive his play, which didn't know Colin Farrell could sing. I don't even know if that was his real voice, but whatever. Right after, I believe, they go and relive the day Sarah's mom died at the hospital. They go to the hospital and she's there because she mentioned she wasn't there when her mom died. Her mom died alone, and that's because Sarah was sleeping with her professor as her mom was dying. So she goes and relives that trauma of losing her mother because her dad really wasn't in her life. And then they go to this weird warehouse looking thing with dim lighting, and they're talking. Sarah and David. And David's like, I'm sorry you had to relive my high school play. Sir, she just had to relive her mother dying. And you think your high school play is brutal? Because some little girl broke your heart? What am I watching? So they continue on. This is basically how the movie goes. It's very just obvious writing, obvious lines, dialogue that's clunky and weird, and characters I just don't really care about at the end because they're both lame. And no growth. I feel like there's no growth in it. It's just like, I think it's a movie that could have been done better, but it just was not. I don't particularly blame the actors in this. I blame everyone else. Writer, director, producer, whatever. I blame them. They had the makings. They had great cinematography. They had two good actors. What gives? And in watching this movie, I'm like, Margot, Colin, are times really that bad? Is rent due? Are you past due on rent? It just feels like y'all picked this movie up just for an easy check. Y'all knew y'all could execute it. Because, I mean, the acting was good. Y'all knew y'all could execute it. Did y'all read the script for real? There's no way y'all read the script and was like, yes, I want to be a part of this project. There's just no way. I say that to say, if you like that movie, cool. More power to you. And I honestly believe if this movie came out when I was in high school, in my romance movie phase, I love romance movies a lot when I was growing up, I would have ate this up. I would have yes, I love this movie. It's so beautiful. And then I think I would have watched it again as an adult and would have been like, oh, wow, why did I like this? Kind of like The Happening, because I was such a M. Night Shyamalan fan. I excused The Happening and said it was a good movie. Be for real. Quite frankly, this movie gave me the similar vibes to Challengers in that I left the movie thinking, what did I watch? What was the point of all this? What are we doing here? These characters have no chemistry. I'm not invested in their relationship. I'm not. I didn't even care if they got a happy ending. And like Challengers was similar because it was just like Zendaya's character just stringing on these two boys, but her real love was tennis. There was just no, to me, there was just no plot. It was just a movie about life. To me, there was no conflict. For this movie, I feel like there was no conflict. I'm sorry if you disagree. I'm sorry. But those are the vibes. I will say I did like this a little bit better than Challengers. A little bit. But it's my review. That's my thought. If you like the movie, good on you. Love that for you. But if you feel the same way I do or similar, let me know. So I'm not allowed. This was a movie I really had to like, okay, I'm going to push through. It'll get better, right? And it just never got better. And so immediately after I went to YouTube to be like, did anybody feel the same way? Am I the only one? I found one review, at least for now, that was feeling the same way. Thank God. And then you know how the movie ends, like they're happy and they profess their love for each other and say, I know you, Sarah. I know you like Burger King. I know you're bad with men, but I think we'll be good together. They kiss and then they go and David is like, do you have time for one more door? She's like, I got time for one more door. And they literally walk into a front door. And you know what's playing? Let my love open the door. Ooh, let my love open the door. This is insane. So take these thoughts. These are just my thoughts. You don't have to think the same way I do, of course. But Big Bold Beautiful Journey. High hopes. Huge letdown. That's all I got to say for today. Thank you for watching. And go watch this movie for yourself. Don't take my word. Go watch it for yourself. You might enjoy it.